In this module, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I create scribes. What's the process I use to get them started? So this one particularly is comprised of a whole series of custom images that I've created. So for instance, you'll see the first two here are actually this image of the MRI scanner. This is an MRI, which is magnetic resonance imaging, which uses magnets, hence magnetic. And the first image is actually just the shell or the outlines, and the second one is a colored in image. So if I click on the second one here and I hide it, which is something you can do, and I do the same thing for the second part here, which is the table, you can see it's just basically two images of sort of line drawings. So I've set them up so that I have 0 seconds to draw the second object, so it just appears and colors in. That's getting into another module. But I want to show you how I actually decided what the script was going to be, and that was simply through using a Word document. And then I sent this away to Fiverr.com, to the narrator, who then sent it back to me. So I wrote the script, and I tend to write the script in sort of a very casual language, something like the way that I would be speaking to you in this tutorial. So for each of the sections, I would also indicate the images that I want. So you saw that I had an image of the MRI scanner, and I traced it. I'll talk about that later. And then the words keep safe. So I would have that recorded, and then I would bring it into Audacity. And here's the narration here. And at that point, then I'm going to listen to it. And I'm not going to play it because it might be quite loud here. I can actually change the volume there. I think that's the playback speed. Sorry. The volume is here. Let's try this.
If you've been asked to watch this short video, it's because you work near a magnetic resonance imaging scanner.
And just to show you again, I mentioned tempo in the previous module, so I'm going to go into Effect and I'm going to say Change Tempo. So I want it to be a little bit faster, not that fast, maybe 1.1 or 1.25.
If you've been asked to watch this short video, it's because...
So if I change that to 2.
If you've been asked to watch this short video...
Let's get it up higher.
If you've been asked to watch this short video, it's because you work near a magnetic resonance...
So you can see. So if you have a very fast narrator, you could slow it down.
If you've been asked to watch this short video, it's because you work near a magnetic...
So there's a little bit of distortion, but you get the idea. You can tweak something a little bit to make it a little bit faster, a little bit slower. So that's helpful for you. So you've narrated it, you saved it as an MP3 file, you come back into VideoScribe, and then you can actually import the narration file from there. Then it becomes a question of timing. So as you start to play the preview, do I need longer to draw the object, or can I draw the object faster, and so on. So then it just becomes a game of laying out your objects, playing a preview.
It's because you work near a magnetic resonance imaging scanner.
And figuring, wait a second, I need longer before the next image is drawn, and then going back to Audacity and adding maybe a little bit of silence. So maybe between this part and this part here, I can say I want to generate a second of silence, or maybe 1 second, 2 seconds. You see there's a gap. I would re-save that or re-export that, bring that back into VideoScribe under narration, and then just keep re-importing it. So that's just typically how my process is. So you may need to tweak here and there, and as you go along you can see how far you are into the scribe. So 12 seconds there, maybe 53 seconds there. So that also helps you when you're choosing music. So if you put everything down ahead of time and you get to the very end and you realize it's almost 4 minutes, you obviously need 4 minutes of music or something that will loop. Or you think, wow, that's way too long, maybe I can draw a little bit faster. So for all your objects, you might say I can take a ½ second off here, or maybe I can remove some of the time around the pausing or the transitions. But pausing is a good way for you to provide time for the narrator to get to the next section, or it allows you to sort of pause longer as the narrator is talking about a specific drawing that you've created. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that, but you want to use your properties to either extend or shorten the drawing time and the pause, and then use tools like Audacity to create those gaps and spaces in between the words so that things can kind of naturally flow. So that's basically how you can create a story from the start, which is your script, and then what images you want, to recording it and then adding it to VideoScribe.